Coming to you from the corner of my little kitchen again. Super nasty winter storms around here, so it's the perfect day to stay home and putter and prepare and do what I need to do for the week. So I have a mango that is finally ripe enough to slice up and eat. And a friend of mine named Bonnie asked how I like to take my mangoes apart. So I thought I would video this to show you guys. All right, so here we go. I'm going to move my little gimbal down so my camera can take a look at what I'm doing. Hopefully I've got some lighting that's right today and you guys will be able to see. This is such a learning curve. I'd much rather just cook. Anyway, bear with me. Down I go to the cutting board, or back to the cutting board, and there's my beautiful mango. So the first thing is I bought this wanting to eat it today, and so I got it a couple days ago. It's a little bit hard. We've kept it on the counter. It smells absolutely divine. So once you smell your mango, it actually has a nice sweet smell from the outside. You can smell it through the skin. I wash it because I'm going to run my blades through it. I don't want any dirt or bacteria that's on the outside of it to go into the skin. You could use a little bit of soap and water. You can use a little mixture of vinegar and water if you're worried about pesticides and such. All right, this is a moving target, and I really like my fingers where they are. So I'm going to stabilize this mango, and I'm not even going to bother peeling it. You can peel a mango very easily, but if you peel it, it's wet and it slides around, and that's when you could cut a finger as well. So I like this method. You know, there's tons of them out there. I'm just choosing one to show you. Now, the pit on a mango, or the stone, is a big, funny oval thing that runs that away through the mango. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work around that pit to get the most amount of meat possible. Now, this one does stay quite stable, but I'm still going to make it a little bit easier on myself. And I'm going to take off the bottom just to stabilize it so the wee little piece is gone. Now it lays really flat and doesn't move around. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my camera ever so slightly. I'm going to assume that the pit is about there, and I'm going to cut straight down to get the most amount of meat out of my mango as possible. You can see there's no pit in there, no stone. Quite often you cut and you get a little bit of the stone. I'm going to turn it so there's a flat side facing me because I like to cut away from myself. And I'm going to go down about the same amount on the other side. This is a really meaty mango. Look how gorgeous. So I know that that stone is in there somewhere. I'm going to take my knife, my very sharp knife. I'm going to feel around. Oh, I found the stone. And I'm going to follow down. Got another piece. And you can still see there's plenty of meat here. So I'm going to keep going as close to that stone as possible and put my pieces in my container. I'm going to go on the other side. It's getting a little bit slippery now, but it's still easy to hold. Look how much mango is in that. That's divine. Now, what you can do is take your small paring knife and continue to take off as much meat as possible. Anybody out there with babies that are teething, or now it's getting slimy, so be careful, don't slide. The other trick, wait a minute, I actually have paper towel in my kitchen for a change. Take a piece of clean paper towel and hold your mango nice and still. This stops it from sliding. And just go down and take off as much meat as you can. So let me go back to the baby thing. If you have any grandbabies or you have any babies of your own that are teething, this pit does not come apart and it's not sharp like a peach pit. So what I used to do for my daughter is I would take this, I would put it into a container, throw it into the freezer until it got nice and solid, or nice and cold, and I would put her into her high chair without a t-shirt and let her gum away at this pit because the cold felt great on the gums, and then as it was melting they had a little bit of mango meat and the juices. It was absolutely delish. Now, see this beautiful piece here? There's a couple of different ways to get it off the skin. One, I'd either use a paring knife or your nice big knife, whichever you prefer. And I would just go under the skin, like so. Go as close to the skin as possible. And you've got a beautiful piece of mango. Easy peasy. And don't forget, you've washed it, so you could eat a little bit of mango skin if you wanted to. It's not a big deal. It's not the tastiest thing, but it's fine. So same thing over here. Okay, you can either hold it in your hand and use a paring knife, or go this way if you're not sure of yourself. You can take this off very easily by looking, turning it over and seeing it and looking at it, and you just run your knife down the side like that and take off what you want, and that goes in there. Now, a couple of ways to deal with the big pieces. One of them, put it in your hand, cup it nicely, use a sharp knife, make sure you don't go all the way through to your hand, and cut strips like so. What I used to do with my daughter when she was little is I would just peel it back and let her bite it off, but I would put it into little cubes for her like this. Let me show you. And then turn it backwards, and she would eat it straight off like that. If you do not wish to do that, of course, you can take your blade and just run underneath the cubes, and out they pop, like so. If you would like to keep it in strips, or if you wish to peel it, so if you keep it in strips, you cut the way that I showed you, straight down, not all the way through to your hand, and then run your blade underneath the skin. If you are daring enough to give it a quick peel, like so, these pieces aren't quite as hard to deal with as the pit part. So you can see the skin comes off very easily. You could also use a vegetable peeler if you'd like. So a couple of different ways. And now you have all the meat available to slice very easily. So there's how I like to dismantle my mango. A couple of different ways you can eat it right off. Sometimes I used to just do it like this for her and put it into a little container in her lunch, and she would sit at her desk and just pop it off or take it in the playground, and she would have her mango as a snack this way. So lots of different ways to tackle a mango, and I hope that that makes life a little bit easier. Now to keep it, I don't know, Bonnie, how long do you keep your mango? But this is great, kept in a glass or airtight container for about 3 days. If you notice that, you know, it's not keeping very well and it was super ripe when you got it, don't add any acids, because that will make it ripen faster, like acid like lemon or lime juice, unless you're putting it into a salad. The other thing that I would suggest is, let's say you've cut the whole mango and you haven't had a chance to finish it yet, and it's going to go bad. Grab it before it goes bad, put it into a freezer container, Ziploc bag, whatever it is you guys use, date it and label it, and now you have mango. Anytime you would like to do a smoothie or make a mango salad, you've got it in the freezer ready to go. So that's how I dismantle a mango, and I hope that that was a helpful tip, and I hope that you watch some of my other YouTube videos and maybe give me a subscribe. So have a good day in your kitchen, and hope to see you soon. Ciao.